Great question here. We've got a double bracket involving exponentials and an inequality. First thing to do is to multiply it out. So I'm going to get 8 minus 2e to the x minus 4e to the x. That's going to be 6e to the x plus e to the x times e to the x, which I'm going to write as e to the x squared. You could write it as e to the 2x, but where we're headed, this is going to be more useful and because it's going to help us out in the long run. I can then write it as e to the x squared minus 6e to the x plus 7 is less than 0. And what we actually have is a hidden quadratic inequality. So I'm going to let u equal e to the x, and then it will become a little bit clearer. We've got u squared minus 6u plus 7 is less than 0. The thing about this is that it doesn't factorize. It makes you start thinking if I made a mistake, but you haven't, that it actually just doesn't factorize. So what we can do is find the roots. There is, in fact, a button on your calculator that solves these sorts of things, but I'll show you it. It's here with the inequality, but I quite like to just go with the equation and draw. I think it's always just good to draw a little sketch and make sure you can do it without. Anyway, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, so I've got 1 minus 6 and 7. Then we get 3 plus root 2 and 3 minus root 2. In fact, they're both positive. And because we're interested in it being less than 0, it's everything below the x-axis. It's this range here. We've got 3 minus root 2 is less than u, which is less than 3 plus root 2. Just going to check if our calculator actually does write that if we use that other function that I said. So we're using a less than one, so it's going to be the second one, putting in the quadratic. Sorry. Okay, it does all check out, so you can use that if you prefer. Right, we're not quite done. Remember, uh, this was a substitution. I do think a substitution here is quite good because there's so much going on otherwise. Let's just get it as a quadratic and then rewrite it as e to the x is between these values. Okay, we got one more step to do. We're actually going to do ln of each term. Because log is an increasing function, that's okay. Because the e to the x is between these values, when I do log, it must be that it's still between the values. So ln 3 minus root 2 is less than x, which is less than ln 3 plus root 2. Okay, a lot to consider in this question, but that is our answer. Very well done.